YouTube, this is day 2, part 2 of Horizon Forbidden West. And we are needing to go to the west to get a backup copy of an AI. In order to do that, we need to get an embassy together, which means solving the problems for these people. In this mining town where there's a dickhead that bothers everyone. And there's also a bunch of fucking robots that want to kill people. They've got acid, so that's what we're doing. Here, we gotta kill them. Alright, let's be good on acid arrows. We should probably tag everything here. Right, let's help these people out. Oh, it'd be great if we could hit the tank and cause a chain reaction. Here we go.
One less machine.
Craft. Okay, so that, I saw that there's a slowdown on it. You can slow down on the weapon wheel. We're clearing the checklist of an open world. Chris, right now we're doing main story shit. Ooh, fuck. From what I read of a list of 5 things we wish we knew before we started Forbidden West, they said, plow through the main story, because a lot of abilities are gated by that. That is what I'm doing. How are you doing today, Chris? How are the gamer coins treating you? Alright, chain reaction, please.
Getting somewhere.
Oh, shit. Alright.
Another one down.
No. Please don't explode on me. Thank you.
One less machine.
The gamer coins do be flowing as they do. Yep. Saw a bunch of Zidalons got updated. Thought I hit the tank there. Nope. Would be good if I could aim better. There we go. That guy's gonna blow up. Gonna do the audio logs and Halo snooze. Halo soon snooze, yeah. Smack has a time-stamped video to help you. Oh, alright, apparently we're gonna Jumping in the water. Oh, fuck off.
Still in the sprint.
The collectibles are labeled, yeah. Matt putting in that hard work for us. I'm hoping, and this is stupid because it's 2022 and I should know by now, that hope is a stupid thing to have. That the final achievement will be available as of Tuesday, so I can move on with my life. But I would not be surprised if 3 for 3 didn't do anything about it until season 2 of the game.
Another one down.
Hopefully, I believe I'm gathering acid bits.
It's on to me.
Oh. Oh, how do I do the Valor thing? Forget how to trigger the Valor that I've charged up.
There's no more fire.
Go. Can we do the chain reaction? Oh, or do we get to go for a killing blow here? Yep.
There. Quarry's safe.
Stranger,
Hey.
come on over here. We gotta talk.
Alright, we'll talk as soon as I collect all the shit from my hard-earned murder. Roadmap was delayed several weeks. I'm surprised they even have a roadmap at this point. It just seems like they're fucking driving in circles.
I'll stash this away for later.
Now let's do a quick save. And craft those. Alright. Used mods. Alright. Whales. Oh, I forgot about these. Acid damage and buildup. Plasma defense. Or do I have to actually go to the outfit and do it? Or, oh no. Lock slots for the weave. Don't tell me I have mods I can use if I can't use them. Alright, that's what we got from doing the ruins yesterday. Oh yeah, this should show us how to do it. Alright. Valor Surge. Oh. Activate the selected Valor Surge by opening the weapon wheel and tapping R1. Oh, okay. That's how we do that for the future.
I don't know what Anora's doing out here, but consider yourself old. We tried to hold off and wait for the Vanguard, but one of them bristlebacks charged us. Next thing you know was a full-fledged fracas.
Is everyone okay?
We lost some good people, but we would have lost the whole quarry without you.
Well, at least it's quiet now.
Your ears ought to be ringing with a quarry at work, but Chainscrape's whistle ain't blowing, so we're stuck picking up the pieces.
You need the whistle to get back to work?
Me and my crew were just little cogs out here. Can't lift a hammer till Olin blows that thing. Cause if we work without his say-so, he'll ban us. And my people have been through enough.
Ulvund holds that much power?
He's got the money and connections to snuff our fires for good. Almost feels like we stood a better chance with the bristlebacks.
Olvind is like... I wonder if they're going to give us the chance to, like, murder him or something.
What are you and your crew working on?
We're supposed to be working Olvin's claim, digging out stone to show our barren light. But the work stoppage and the bristlebacks cut us short. Never seen those blasted things in a dawn before. Where in Forge Fire did they come from?
I'm not sure. At least not yet.
Maybe make eye contact with her, Aloy, instead of fucking looking around like a weirdo.
I need to get going. Stay safe.
Thanks to you, that might actually be possible today.
Alright.
I think I've cleared out most of the bristlebacks. Chainscrape can get back to work now. I'll go give Ulvund the good news. Voorhees, too. Then maybe this embassy can finally happen.
Oh, you can fast travel between campfires you've discovered without using the fast travel pack. Alright. Do your upgrades carry over to another file/playthrough in Halo Infinite? No. Only thing that carries over is collectibles.
Shock ammo could help.
Yeah, they're not good with that kind of shit. So when I was doing my Lasso playthrough, obviously I prioritized getting Spartan cores that I could level up to get the whatchamacallits, the thrusters. Give myself invisibility. Alright, before we go back there, let's quest. Side quest. That's way out there. Alright. Errands. Alright. Bitterleaf and Scrounger Site. Scrounger Site. Maybe we can find some over here. Between extra stuff on Lasso,
Time to
gross.
get Ulvin to blow the whistle, then
Uh,
head east to Barren Light.
It was basically if you fully level up the thruster, you're invisible for 5 seconds whenever you use it, so you can just like zip zoom through game. Once you get that, and you can skip a whole lot of the enemies. That's Alvin. Main. Don't like the idea of having to look around for them when Lasso's already such a pain in the ass. Yeah. All right, ass clown.
Here, I see.
You don't seem to have a high opinion of the magistrate?
Well, I refuse to play nice to some fancy-robed parchment pusher when my fellow laborers are being bullied, intimidated, and taken advantage of.
Are you?
How noble of you.
Noble, ha! Born with a hammer in hand, I was. Nobody
for your
handed
mom's
me
pussy.
anything or dropped opportunity into my lap. Everything I've achieved, I've done on my own.
And where is this hammer now?
The burden of leadership forced me to set it aside. The Carja risk nothing, while demanding that good Osram gamble with their lives out there. Someone had to step up and say no more.
You said you founded Chainscrape. Somehow I doubt that.
Practically founded, I said. I alone saw its potential when it was just a smattering of tents in Barren Light's shadow. I invested in the mine, convinced some friends back home to do the same, and here we are. You could say Chainscrape is what it is thanks to me.
Oh, so you're not just standing around and profiting off everyone else?
Not at all. Sure, I make a little return on my investment here and there, but my main priority, as it was from the beginning, is to look after the well-being of these honest, working Osram.
I cleared out all the bristlebacks.
Oh, you did?
Now that you've recovered from your shock, time to blow the whistle.
Oh, there, not so fast. I'll have to send someone out to confirm the kills. Make sure the valley is safe again. Shouldn't take more than a day or two.
No. You blow the whistle now.
These are innocent Osram lives we're talking about here. Surely the delay...
Either you do it now, or I will.
Ah, I knew you could do it! Friends, gather around. The savior of Meridian has done it again.
What?
The bristlebacks are defeated. You,
What?
sound the whistle. Chainscrape is open for business.
Terrific. Great. Yay.
All right, coward.
And Ulvin has agreed to personally pay every worker their lost wages.
Yeah!
That's more like it.
Yeah! Woo!
Ha-ha.
Yeah! Yeah! Don't you have an embassy to get to?
Yeah.
Don't you have
guess I
people to
do.
pay? Merchants are now available. All right.
Well, the Chainscrape's back to work. Merchants should be open to trade. I should see if they have anything useful before I send Wadis off to Barren Light. Better see what that Karja magistrate wanted. I bet he's in the tavern.
All right, none of these are better than what I have. Resources. Mark to sell, mark to sell, mark to sell. Obviously, you don't want to offload those. Let's put that and that. Oh, you have to do it per page, I guess.
I can grab this from my stash later.
Brought out only the good stuff for you, Red. Seeing as you got that whistle blowing.
Hey, I've been waiting to get my lucky hammer fixed for days.
You haven't done anything useful like getting rid of any bristlebacks, though, have you? Take your time. I promise you won't be disappointed.
All right. Right, not better than what I currently have. Yeah, so everything I have is already higher level than things.
Come back anytime.
Now can I get this fixed?
I can fix your tools. Afraid there's no fixing you.
Ooh. Workbench. All right. Upgrade anything here. All right, we need a burrower sound shell. Can upgrade that. Tripcaster. And we can do fully upgrade the shock tripcaster. Right, outfit upgrades. And another burrower sound shell. All right. We need those for a lot of things then. All right, all right, all right. Okay. Telling me I can do it, but there's None that match. I don't know why it would pop up with that shit then. Let's go ahead and quick save.
The way to Barren Light is clear. Get moving.
You're not errant vanguardsman. I will move only when the captain
When I've
says.
cleared out all the bristlebacks, which I have. Captain's orders.
So they're okay.
Banged up, but breathing. And waiting up ahead for you.
But I was supposed to have 3 escorts.
Get the step in.
I'm off to Barren Light, buddies. Like Aloy said, Captain's orders. You can stay here.
Abandoned to the riffraff? I think not.
Guess you're coming with me then. See you there, Aloy.
All right.
Well, now that that's done, the embassy can finally get underway. If I can get through it, I'll be able to track down Silence. Hades. Maybe even a Gaia backup. Guess I could head straight for Barren Light. Or poke around the Daunt somewhere first. And
All right, we got points. That and that. Okay, and defense. All right. I'm putting a lot into warrior now because that was another thing that
maybe take Petra up on that drink.
God I saw or read said like put it into warrior first. All right, where's Petra?
I'm sorry, I'll be right with you. Okay, I'm not saying it's
Rude?
I'm saying it's overkill.
It's a weapon. Kill is the point.
Not if it blows the user's arm off. Oh, just stop talking. Where are we? Ah. So, you look like someone who's always searching for a new weapon. Am I right?
Actually,
But you're just nuts. I am with a customer.
I'm not a customer.
I got it. Triple the powder. It'll blow a Strider sky high. Ba-boom. One shot kill. Guaranteed.
Maybe I am.
Then you are in the right place at the right time, Red. How would you like to be the proud owner of the world's first machine-enhanced,
Explosive. Done in one. Machine wrecking.
yet perfectly safe, javelin thrower?
Are you two from around here?
Nah, the claim. Dad sent us out west in search of some unknown opportunity. Said we'll know it when we see it.
Sounds like you had other ideas.
Let's just say that opening another trading post for my parents isn't how I want to make my mark in this world. I imagine traveling alone must be nice.
Ooh. Oh, she hates her sister as much as Shiz hates his.
So she's your partner?
My apprentice and my sister. She's why we're out here. There was an incident. Another incident.
Involving explosives?
Ba-boom!
And Dad's precious homebrew. He shipped us out the next day.
Huh. Tell me more about this weapon of yours.
Saw a scroll when I was a kid by some Karja scholar who wandered out west. Had a scary drawing of a Tenakth warrior hunting with a kind of javelin thrower. Effective? Yes. Basic? Undoubtedly. But coming out here made me remember it, and I am on the brink of vastly improving the tool's archaic design.
Whereas I will perfect it.
I can use machine parts to enhance the user's throw, increase the projectile's velocity. Well, Boomer here is adamant that enhancing the projectile is better, namely with explosive tips.
Boomsticks.
Why not both?
That could work. There's one small snag. I need the parts to make the first working model.
Well, for starters, I'll need charger horns. Intact.
Yeah, that. Just be sure to shoot them off before the machine goes down. Otherwise, they break. But the real innovation, and keep it to yourself, is a fang horn rib.
There's a mean one east of here. Blow it sky high.
Boomer! You get him for me. It's yours. My treat.
You have a deal.
Arja Magistrate.
Drink later.
That Petra?
Savior! Over here! Savior, thank you for taking the time, and my condolences that you had to endure Ulvan's bloviating.
I've dealt with worse. It sounds like he's really trying to put you over the barrel.
The idea that the Karja purposely let bristlebacks into the Daunt, it's completely absurd. But the louder and longer he says it, the more support he'll get for his damned concession decree.
How did the bristlebacks get into the Daunt?
No one knows for sure. The first report of them came from west of the quarry. But unless they have wings I don't know about, I don't see how they could have come over the mountains.
No other way in.
The only way I know about is barren light. Look, if you can get to the bottom of this, I can offer a considerable bounty in return. Help me shut Ulvin up.
Oh, gladly.
What is this concession decree that Ulvund wants?
He wants the Sundom to designate portions of the Daunt as Oseram holdings. Only the portions, mind you, that produce any value.
Let me guess. Because he stands to profit somehow?
Exactly. With the Daunt under Oseram law, he could secure more investment for their numerous ventures.
He can't get those investments without the concession?
No. Not while there's a chance the Sundom could revoke their access. Hence, why the concession is so important to him. And why blaming the Karja for the bristlebacks, no matter how absurd, works in his favor.
How does blaming the Karja for the bristlebacks help Ulvund get his concession?
Look around. This may be the Sundom, but Chainscrape is all gears and rust and bad ale. Claiming that the Karja loosed the bristlebacks in order to intimidate Oseram laborers into obedience. Well, let's just say no one here has forgotten the atrocities of the Mad Sun King. Even with the valley working again, Ulvund hopes he can stir up enough resentment against the Karja to call for a strike.
And if the Oseram refuse to work, unless the concession is signed, you won't have a choice.
Correct. The reconstruction of Barren Light must continue.
All right, and what do you have to do with it?
How did you get stuck out here?
I asked for the posting, believe it or not. Overseeing the entire valley on behalf of the Sun King? It was an honor. Is an honor, I mean.
But your job would be a lot easier without someone like Ulvund blasting hot air all the time?
Ulvund's not going anywhere. He's been around longer than I have. Even fancies himself the founder of Chainscrape. Now, I'll find a way to live with him. I have to.
You said the bristlebacks were first spotted west of the quarry?
Yes, according to one terrified laborer, said the ground trembled before they came charging down the hillside. He took off and ran all the way here.
Good place to start looking, then.
If you learn the truth, maybe Ulvund will stop blaming the Karja for every problem under the sun, and maybe then he'll actually focus on rebuilding Barren Light instead.
Okay,
It's a Tanakh game, but any tribe can enjoy it.
all right. Don't worry about minigame.
Come for that beer after all, eh? Here, sit down. Get a pint in her hand. Wasn't expecting you to swing by.
Since when do I do what's expected?
Ha! There's that spark. Fire and spit.
Fire and spit.
We'll
That's
get
a
you
blast from
drunk.
the bellows. Won't fix the forge, but at least I can forget about my troubles for a while.
Like what?
Well, things aren't as bad since you got this place running again. But we still got Ulvund grating the gears about his concession decree. If you don't put that down, I'll come over there and show you how that game ends. Anyway, right now, I'm just worried about those refugees out from Sunfall. To come all this way enduring Forge knows what.
Shadow Karja refugees. What are they doing in the Daunt?
Looking for a new home, I gather. They're camped out by an old trailhead, southwest of here. And therein lies the problem. A stormbird crashed up on the cliffs last week, and Talon Cleanbrokers had his eye on the salvage ever since. But the refugees have barred entrance. Mustn't interrupt their sun-scorched ritual. Something about finding a twilight path.
Huh. I never heard them talk about that before.
Yeah, well, these particular Shadow Karja are an odd bunch. But overall, they're peaceful folk. Not that it matters to Talon. He'll crack some heads to get to that salvage. Maybe you could swing by, convince him to set up camp somewhere else?
So the bristlebacks in the Daunt.
Rude.
Where did they come from?
That's the thing. No one rightly knows. They just showed up one day, rampaging around the valley like they exploded out of a forge. Lost some good people. But bless the bellows, you cleared them out and got this place working again.
I have a feeling
That put a
Ulvund's
dent in Ulvund's
responsible for
plans.
the bristlebacks.
Now, if only there was some way to smash them all together and run them out of town.
But how could bristlebacks in the Daunt help Ulvund?
2 words. Concession decree. Since no one knows where the bristlebacks came from, Ulvund has taken to blaming the Karja for them. He's hoping to dig up enough old resentments to get a strike going until the concession's signed. This is just his latest attempt. He's been trying to rile up the workers since the day he rolled into town.
And people actually believe him?
Lots of folks suffered at the hands of the Mad King during the Red Raids. Give him half a reason, they'll blame the Karja for anything.
Damn Karja slavers.
I thought you'd be back in Freeheap.
Well, After the big battle at Meridian, I went back, but realized it was running smooth. Didn't need me. Heard about the rebuilding out at Barren Light. Figured they could use another hammer. Been scraping by ever since.
You could always leave.
And go back east? Nah. I ain't one to leave a lit forge. Besides, someone's gotta be a squeaky wheel for the workers around here.
What else can you tell me about the Shadow Carja refugees?
Well, they don't call themselves Shadow Carja for one. At least, not anymore. They're some other brand of sun-crazed. But whatever side of the sun they're on, they're peaceful through and through. Don't seem to want for nothing except a place to live, pray, and just enough food to keep from starving.
So they're just camped outside by a trail, blocking entry to a wrecked Stormbird, waiting for what exactly?
Don't rightly know, but I'll tell you this. Should they ever wise up and salvage it, a Stormbird heart is worth a lot. And if they get there first, then by Ostrom law, it's theirs. Not that Tolan Cleanbrokers ever lost sleep over any law breaking.
Who is this Tolland Cleanbroker?
Just some chuff-huffing pondsman. Got a shop here in town. Lived in Chainscrape since there was a Chainscrape. He and Ulvin go back a ways. Like a pair of coals and a campfire, those two.
So Tolland works for Ulvin?
Ha! Ulvin might think so, but Tolland scrapes up his own scams.
Chris, you remember Toland from Destiny?
Get between him and Stormbird salvage.
So about Ulvin.
Around here, everything's about Ulvin.
How'd he end up in charge?
He got here early, like a squirrel smelling a fat nut. He knew rebuilding Barren Light would need stone and timber. So he jangled purses all over Mainspring, getting investors to front claims on anything in the Daunt that might be worth a damn. Thing is, all the bankers back home know that this is Carja land, and the Sun King can revoke those claims at any time. That's why he's desperate for the magistrate to sign off on a concession decree.
This concession decree, what is it exactly? And how would it help Ulvin?
It's pig diddle, that's what.
A writ that would put all Osram claims in the Daunt under Osram law, even though they're on Carja land. It would mean that any existing ore, stone, and timber claims couldn't be revoked by the Carja. No more risk, no more hesitation for investors back in the claim to pour in the shards and expand their business. And since Ulvin has a stake in all those claims, it would make him richer than a scrapper in a junk heap. Not to mention Chainscrape would become an Osram municipality, so he could buy enough votes to call himself an elderman. He's a sly old badger, I'll give him that. Figures if he keeps up the pressure, eventually the magistrate will sign.
Well, if I'm up that way, I'll talk to the refugees. Try to convince them to move.
Much appreciated. They have it rough. Don't need Tolland making it rougher.
Petra said Tolland has a shop here in Chainscrape. I could have a word with him first.
Alright, override a charger. Let's go find Tolland's shop while we're here, and then we can go move on. Right, on the right path here. If there's Tolland.
That's you. The machine hunter that bailed out the Carja.
Never heard it put that way before.
What do you want?
Heard you've been hassling refugees up by the cliffs.
Yeah, well, you heard wrong. There's salvage up there. A Stormbird. Nailed him myself with the harpoon here in town. Not an easy shot if I do say so myself. It clipped its wing, and it crashed into the old tower up there. Killed it quick. Yeah, so if anyone's hassling anyone, it's the Shadow Carja filth that's blocking the way up to my claim.
And you're ready to crack some skulls to get to it?
No need. It's a raggedy bunch. Probably all starved before I have to lift a finger.
We'll see about that.
Oh yeah, we will, won't we? Now shop's closed to Carja lovers. On your blasted way.
Alright, dickhead, I'm still gonna take your shit. See what being rude gets you, sir? I don't want to do melee fights right now.
I could get around faster if I find a charger to override.
And that's kind of what I'm planning to do here.
I can override one of these chargers. I have to go on quiet so I don't spook the herd. Shock could do a lot of damage.
All right. Where's my rock? There we go. Alright, is there... Can I get a, like a... Okay, there's the sound shell I need. On its belly. Well, you can get on its belly over here. Not on its belly, but like stand up like a meerkat.
Don't see me.
Where's the hot spot on his belly? There we go. Glad I didn't completely give away where I was. There we go. Right. Oh, and I need to get horn off those guys. Oh, fuck off. Alright. Not good. Not good. Okay. And horn. Down shell. Approach them undetected and then hold down triangle. Alright.
I know I'm here.
Okay, that's alright. I remember doing that in the OG game. Would help if I crafted more arrows. Oh, I can repair it. Okay.
The next fight.
Sworn I knocked head off or horn off something. Alright, dismount.
I should have enough charger horns for Della and Boomer now. Just need a rib from that fang horn they were talking about.
Don't run away. Or do? Okay. Alright, this is much faster.
You're welcome, Alvin. Stuff? Anything worth dirtying your hands for? I'm just happy to be at it again.
No room on me. I can send it to my stash.
Go ahead and do a full-on save. dealio here. All right. Chargers. All right.
Shut that machine down quick with shock ammo.
Still need to find that bitter leaf or whatever it is. Frozen rocky areas. Oh. Gather bitter leaf. All right. Another bitter leaf?
Okay.
It is,
I think
alright.
I have enough bitter leaf. Barren light. Last part of the Sundom before the Forbidden West. Karja Horn. That means the embassy storm soon. Alright, I should find whoever's in charge here. First, I could resupply at my stash. Might be worth taking a look around, too.
Savior, tell me, are you seeking passage into no man's land by any chance?
Maybe. Why do you ask?
Well, to hammer it plain, there's treasure out west. Unclaimed scrap and ancient metal. And I've got a sturdy band of salvagers that knows the lay of the land.
You're not afraid of the Tanakh?
Terrified. But I carry out most of my business in no man's land. Neutral territory and all that. Barren Light is our port of entry. When its doors aren't closed for an embassy. I was hoping your arrival meant they might be opening soon. I've got a business to run, after all.
I want that embassy to happen as much as you do. Believe me, I'm working on it.
Good to know. And keep us in mind. If you do manage to open the way, our main camp will be just past Barren Light. We'll buy any scrap you've got on you. And if you're looking for machine parts, we've got the best in the West. Guaranteed.
All right. Maybe later then.
If you could get those blasted gates open.
Working on it.
Guess I'm not the only one who wants to get those gates open.
Alright, they're playing the game.
Time to.
Alright.
Shards to use. Eyes up here, brother. You gonna speak to me? Got somewhere to be.
Up here.
This'll make a good die.
Let's trade. Remedies for shards.
Alright, herbalist. Well, I'll just hold on to those.
Aid your journey.
Go and see if we can get the embassy going here.
There's Erend. That looks like he's had a few. Gentlemen.
That's our cue.
You taking the edge off?
Huh. Well, I mean, I'd ask you to join, but who'd be left to save the world, right? All right, now let me guess. You're in a rush, right? So, whatever you need, ask away.
How have things been since
Your silent departure? Yeah, not bad. Vanguard's going strong. Helped Avad pick up the pieces after the battle with the Eclipse. I took a month to bury Ursa in the claim.
His sister was
When I
killed in the
got
first
back,
game.
I got the assignment to babysit Wadis on his way to the embassy. I thought that'd be a cakewalk, so of course things went sideways.
You got blindsided. Wasn't your fault.
A couple more of these, maybe I'll believe you.
I was, wondering if you were able to lay Ursa to rest, like you wanted.
Yeah, we did. Just seen the crowd that showed up to pay their respects. Half of them owed her a favor, and the other half owed her their lives. In the end, everybody drank. You know, it's the rowdiest funeral since ever.
Feels like she would have liked that.
Yeah, damn straight. Damn straight. She would have put them all under the table.
What do you know about the embassy?
Oh, yeah, not much. Only that Avad really wants it to happen. He said I'm making peace with these Tanakh. But from what I hear, they're not too big on the whole diplomacy thing. They do most of their talking with blades and arrows. So if you're heading their way, be prepared. Things might get ugly real fast.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right.
What do you know about this place?
Well, nothing good. It's where the Carja dragged all the captives they took from the Forbidden West during the Red Raids. Lucky ones became slave labor. The rest were hauled off to the Sun Ring and Meridian.
Your sacrifice.
You got it. Tanakh made sure to wreck the place before they chased the Carja out of the West. I can't say I blame them. And now Avad's paying the Osram to rebuild it. And no matter how much new stone they put up, it'll still be stained in blood.
I better get going.
Yeah, I don't want to stop you. Just, are you sure about this? Yeah, I'm saving the world. That sounds like a lot for just one...
Erend.
Yeah, all right. Can't blame me for trying. I guess what I'm really trying to say is, if you ever do need me...
I know where to find you. Hopefully sober next time.
Yeah, don't count on it. Be careful out there, Aloy.
Savior. You're my last hope.
Conover. She's Meridian's savior, not yours.
It's just Aloy. What do you want?
Please, no one will listen. But the Eclipse... they're here in the Daunt.
Really, Conover? Aloy's the one that defeated them. You're bothering her with this hogwash now?
Some of them must have fled west after the battle at the Elite. I saw one of our sentries, Loravik, sneaking off to meet with one. I tried to eavesdrop, but they spotted me. And then Loravik tried to kill me. I... fought back. It was him or me.
Unfortunately, there's no hard evidence that connects Loravik to the Eclipse. And since Conover doesn't deny killing his fellow soldier, Nozar sentenced him to death.
What makes you so sure Loravik was working with the Eclipse?
Well, I was too far to hear everything. But I heard them both say the word Eclipse.
It's not the most outlandish claim I've heard, but it's up there.
Crying Eclipse is a convenient way to dodge a death sentence.
If I have to die, so be it. But if we ignore this threat, others are going to die too.
Tell me exactly what happened.
Weeks ago, during a shift change, some trespassers slipped through the gate. By the time anyone noticed, they were halfway out the canyon. Nozar didn't see the need to give chase. Let the Tenakth take care of them, he said.
Nozar's not one to be sidetracked. He tightened up the patrol schedules, reprimanded the sentries, and everyone moved on.
But I couldn't stop thinking about it. None of us are careless out here, meaning someone left it open on purpose. And Larovic, well, he's always grumbling about officers. But on this, he was too quiet. And after the incident, he started acting different, jumpy. So when I spotted him sneaking out of the barracks after hours, I followed. I found him arguing with a stranger, and when Larovic mentioned the eclipse, I tried getting closer, but they heard me. The stranger took off, and Larovic lunged at me with his knife. Instincts took over. Sentries heard the scuffle and found me standing over his body.
Why don't you believe him?
We combed the woods. Searched Larovic's bunk, searched it again, didn't find anything. Look, Conover's a good man. I don't believe he murdered Larovic in cold blood. But Nozar only listens to facts. And that fact is, Conover killed his fellow sentry. He doesn't deny it, right?
No, but more eclipses are out there.
Considering there's no evidence backing up this eclipse story, well, we can't question a dead man. Nozar's on edge with the upcoming embassy and doesn't want distractions. But hey, if you find a bunch of Eclipse soldiers hatching an evil plot in the woods, please do let us know.
This guy's in Eclipse.
The meeting you witnessed. Did you hear anything else about their plans?
No. But the clearing where they met is just east of here, across the river.
A dozen soldiers have already searched it, Conover. There's nothing there.
I can see things others can't. If the Eclipse are in the Daunt, I'll find them.
Thank you, Aloy. Sun bless your search.
Don't get your hopes up, soldier.
Alright, continue with the main story. Do quests later.
Lighten up, Paiv. You've got a thick wall of stone between you and the Tenakth up there.
Yes, sir.
Why the long face, Mavas? Wish you...
Are you in charge around here?
Ah, apologies, no. That would be Commander Nozar. I'm Lawan, his second in command. So, what brings Aloy of the Nora to Barren Light?
I'm here for the embassy. I need it to happen so I can head west. And maybe now that Studious Wadis is here, we can finally get things underway.
Yes, the Sun Priest. Walked in practically kicking and screaming behind his escort. Really seems to like his scrolls. But the embassy remains delayed. Commander Nozar has signaled our readiness, but the Tenakth marshals have yet to sound their horn.
All right, fine. Let me through the gates then. I have my own business with them.
I'm sure you do, but I'm afraid I can't. Commander's orders. Normally, the gates are open for any who dare to venture out. Asaram salvagers, a few especially brazen Karja, but no one's allowed in or out before an embassy. They'll reopen, once the Tenakth have left.
So what happens at these embassies, exactly?
Mostly trade and negotiation. The Karja offer tribute of food, spices, and gear. In exchange, the Tenakth return personal effects taken from Karja soldiers that fell during the Red Raids. This particular embassy, however, is a special case.
Because the Tenakth are handing over some sort of prisoner, right? A soldier named Fashav?
Ah, so you've heard.
But he's brother or cousin, I think.
The exchange has got everyone on edge. You never know if an embassy's going to go well until it's practically over.
You said something about Tenakth marshals. Who are they?
They're the tribe's elite warriors. Before every embassy, they arrive with a contingent of soldiers from each of their 3 clans. Then, during the proceedings, they negotiate on behalf of their leader. And by negotiate, I mean stare down our sun priest until they concede. Paiv over here came face to face with them for the first time at the last embassy. Came back drenched in his own sweat.
It was hot that day, sir.
It was indeed.
Where is this Commander Nozar, then? If he's the one keeping the gates shut, I'll convince him to open them for me.
I'll take you to him, but I have to warn you. The commander isn't one to break protocol, especially when he's already high-strung.
We'll see about that.
This way.
There's a lot of activity going on around here.
The Tanakh tore down this place during the Red Raids. 2 years of labor, and we still have a long way to go. The work stoppage and chain scrape nearly halted our rebuilding efforts. But I hear a certain Nora got them back to work.
Yeah, I wonder who that lady
I
was.
was just helping out.
Yes, well, I'm sure Ulvin was thrilled.
How goes it, Hammerhead? Hope to catch you soon.
Stand aside, soldier.
Sir?
There's the commander. Better brace yourself. And good luck.
How are we to hold an embassy with a tribe that can't even govern their own people?
What more can you expect from barbarians?
Ahem.
Ah. Aloy, was it?
Yes. The one who cleared the valley for you? That Aloy.
We appreciate your service. At least we are ready for the embassy to begin.
Didn't you just give the signal?
Both sides must signal readiness. Until
Reminds me of when Shiz had his man bun.
We wait.
Yea, for as the first shall be...
Shut up. Why the delay?
The Tanakh are a tribe composed of 3 clans. How many banners do you see?
You're just gonna wait? Go find out what's wrong.
Oh, this isn't some forgotten corner of the East where you come from, Nora. It's the Forbidden West. If you don't like it, run back to Meridian, file a complaint.
The Meridian I saved, you mean?
That's right. Nobody walks to the gate until the 3rd clan arrives and the Tanakh's horn has sounded. Not even the savior of Meridian.
Well, thanks, but I've waited long enough. It's time to go.
Absolutely not. This embassy depends on diligent adherence to... You shall not!
Keep telling yourself that.
You shall not pass.
Approaching! On a machine!
Oh, it's Varl. He's gonna be mad that we left him.
Open the gates, please.
Do not let her through that gate! That is a direct order!
Sorry, can't do it.
Sir, it's the Savior! I don't care if it's the Dowager Queen herself! The gate stays sealed until that horn blows!
I'm asking nicely.
I don't know what to do.
Hey, Varl.
Hi, Aaron. What's happening?
You know, the usual. Aloy wants something. People try to stand in her way. It's not gonna work.
Oh, that's it! Arrest her!
I'd like to see you try.
Supporting fire?
Yeah, I'm locked and loaded. Hey, Nozar! You stupid bastard. You think you got the authority to keep that door shut in the savior of Meridian's face? What do you think Sun King Avad is gonna do when he hears what you did? Promote you, huh? Let it through, boys. Saving the world.
His poor
Got
ribs.
something back in Meridian?
Look, Varl.
It doesn't matter. Made it just in time.
So this tribe that Moran told us about, the Tanakh, we need their permission to go west?
Yeah, well, I figured it'd be nice if they weren't trying to kill me the whole time.
But this embassy hasn't started yet. We're just gonna barge in?
There's no more politics. No more delays.
Oh well. Now at least you have some backup.
I guess I do. We'll see how it goes.
It's here to talk.
That is the line between East and West. Cross it and die.
Hold on now. Let's take it easy.
None may walk this valley until our signal sounds. That was our accord with the Karja.
I'm not Karja. I came here on my own to ask for rite of passage.
But they opened the gate for you, did they not? What is the meaning of this violation?
Why send a child? Do they want to parley or not?
The Karja can't be trusted. This is known.
Forget the Karja. This has nothing to do with them. I need to go west to save lives. Maybe even yours.
The only lives you can save are your own. By turning back. Now.
Hold! She's telling the truth about one thing. She's not Karja. She's a Nora from the Savage East. And if she seeks to save lives, should we not listen? Let me speak to her. One last favor for a fellow marshal before he's taken away. A fearless, red-headed Nora. You must be the so-called savior of Meridian.
Just Aloy.
I am unyielding Fashav. Once of the Karja High Command, last of the army of the setting sun.
You're Fashav. Avad gave me a message for you. That he waits for you in Meridian, where you belong.
Avad always was polite. Well, now I'm even more curious about you knowing that you have the confidence of the Sun King. But such an association with the Karja could work against you here, as it often has with me. As you can see, tensions are high. This embassy is a delicate affair. They're about to return me to the Sundom, a gesture that might help soothe painful grievances. And now you arrive, unheralded.
I'm not here to cause trouble. I just need to go west.
So you say. I might be able to help, but I need to know why.
Imagine you in whiteface in
Along with some
2022.
assurance that I won't regret it.
I've never seen markings like those on a Karja before.
The Karja see ink as decoration. For the Tanakh, it is much more. A litany of deeds. A record of vanquished enemies.
Looks like you've vanquished quite a few.
I've fought my share of battles. But I feel that my life, like my markings, is only half complete. This side shows my martial deeds. Before I die, I'd like to see the other half marked with the laurels of peace.
How did you come to be among the Tanakh?
It's quite a story, but not a quick one. Though I suppose neither of us is going anywhere before the embassy begins. Are you sure you want to hear it?
I guess we have time.
Very well. I marched with Sun King Jiran's raiders when they came west, hoping to moderate their worst impulses. I failed, of course. They committed unspeakable atrocities, stirring the Tanakh into action. When the clans overran our forward encampment at Cinnabar Sands, I stayed behind to help the last stragglers evacuate, and was taken prisoner. I didn't make it easy for my captors, mind you. And they paid me back in kind on the journey to their capital. I lost so much blood on the way that I was white as a corpse when they threw me before Chief Hikaro. I thought I was dead for sure, so I resorted to desperate measures.
So when you met the Tenakth chief, you did something desperate.
Now, I'd kept my ears open as the Tenakth dragged me along, and I heard mutterings about a kind of trial by combat that they revere. So, when they flung me at Hikaro's feet, I demanded this right, called the Kurut, thinking that by winning I could request a boon, my life or even my freedom. The other Tenakth howled, but Hikaro stared them down, and then his gaze fell upon me. Evidently, he appreciated my ingenuity. He allowed me to participate in the Kurut. Little did I know what I was in for.
You said the Kurut is a Tenakth trial by combat.
Yes, but it is no ordinary trial. It doesn't pit men against each other, at least not directly. Instead, the combatants fight machines in a great arena, and only the strongest survive. Believe me, it is no easy thing to stare down a charging machine while hundreds around you scream for blood.
I know more about that than you might think.
Do you? Well, then you have my respect. Like you, I lived through it to claim my prize. I had hopes for freedom, but well, that wasn't on offer. Only service to the chief.
You wound up serving the Tenakth chief.
The winners of the Kurut must serve the chief as his marshals.
You mentioned that word before. What does it mean?
The word itself refers to a kind of protective spirit from the ancient past. In practice, marshals are Hikaro's roving lawgivers, part magistrate, part judge, part executioner. I won my place among their ranks and served as honor demanded, but many Tenakth still spat on the ground when I walked by. But they did, until I started forcing them to the ground to grind their faces in it.
I guess that's one way to deal with it.
As you may have noticed, violence is the native tongue of the Tenakth.
Well, so they're Americans.
One must master it. The truth is, though, the Karja speak it too. More than they should. I can't blame the Tenakth for hating them.
So then, are you still Karja?
Part of me, yes. Always. Yet there is much to admire about the Tenakth. Especially their chief. I've heard stories about what it was like before his reign. 3 clans always at war, constantly slitting each other's throats. Hikaro and the marshals have crafted a delicate peace.
Just realized her vest is a dead boar.
Maybe that future will include cooperation with the Karja.
The Karja talk about Hikaro as if he's a monster.
The Karja feel compelled to demonize him if only because he swept them from the field. It is true that he is fearsome. When I was first taken before him, I thought he would flay me alive. But he is no bloodthirsty tyrant like the Mad Sun King was. I think that if you were fortunate enough to meet him, as I was, you would find that he only wants the best for his people. I hope you do speak to him. I'm sure you'd interest him. So, that's my story. You're the first Easterner to hear it, but not the last. The Karja need to know what I have learned.
Yeah. The way you talk about the Tenakth is a lot different than how they do. Are you glad to be going back to Meridian?
Oh, I'll admit that I wouldn't mind sleeping in a feather bed or sipping wine from the southern vineyards. But I have another goal in mind. As someone who knows the Tenakth and the Karja, I'm in a unique position to advocate for both. If Sun King Avad is amenable, my hope is to establish a lasting peace.
The Tenakth don't seem that peaceful.
They're not, as a rule. But these are difficult times. Chief Hikaro knows that survival often requires change, even if that change means putting aside centuries of war.
Tracker failed to update. I believe they disabled the trackers. because there being glitches early on. I don't know if they redid them or not.
You asked why I need rite of passage. I'll tell you, but you won't like my answer.
Oh, in-game tracker. Oh, okay.
6 months ago, the world almost ended in Meridian. That threat still exists. It's getting worse every day, much worse. Calling down storms, poisoning the water, enraging the machines. The source of it all has gone west, and I'm the only one who can stop it.
I've seen the signs. And I've heard tales of incredible occurrences in Meridian, an army of demons vanquished by a red-haired champion. So I'm inclined to believe you. The burden of your task is written across your face clearer than any mark of mine. I'll grant you this, to serve as proof of your right to travel into Tenakth lands. A task so important, and it's just the two of you. Take it from one who aspires to be a diplomat. Allies are essential. Chief Hikaru knows the West better than anyone. He may be able to help you. He can be intimidating to others, but don't let that deceive you. He is a man of his word.
Maybe. If I need him.
Your choice. You can find him at his palace, past the mountains to the southwest. Tell him I sent you, and he'll listen to
Look! The Sky Clan's banner.
Alright, I mean, we can have our embassy now?
Marshals. It wasn't easy, but I brought the Sky Clan with me.
And the commander?
No. I could only convince a few. He isn't yet aware we left.
We have banners from all 3 clans. If there are fewer from the Sky Clan, it can't be helped.
He's right. Sound the horn.
What's going on?
That's a big-ass horn.
Not all Tenakth can stomach the idea of parley with the Karja, but enough have come for us to begin.
Then I'll be on my way.
No, the other marshals will not permit it. You wanted safe passage, you have it. After the embassy.
And diplomacy is dicks.
The Karja have opened the gates.
As the sun rises over a land at war, so too can it set over a land at peace. Today is such...
Hear me, marshals! You who claim to be Tenakth!
Regala. Chief Hikaru's biggest mistake. A rival whom he should have killed.
You have forgotten that our people were born in blood. The blood of the Karja. Instead, you pledge your spears to a chief who conspires with the enemy. Hikaru has betrayed us. The embassy is proof. And all of you marshals are his accomplices. For this, I condemn you to death.
You'll need more than toothless threats to intimidate us. Exile.
Oh, fuck.
Lancers, form up!
That's Angela Bassett's character.
They're riding machines.
Where'd they learn to do that?
Silence.
Vashav, come with us now, or not at all.
Archers, light them up! Left flank to the Karja. Run them down.
Oh no.
They're not gonna make it.
Some of them pop, and it's like, depending on which one you find first, it's different for which one number it is.
Karja! Stand your ground!
Are you going by the timestamps? Okay.
I don't have a shot.
Are they gonna give me the chance to fight?
What happened? Can you see?
It's just us now.
Hey! Calm down and fight fair! Lancers! Take the center! Get ready!
There's a website with a map where you can track shit, Chris.
Archers on the ridge! Here they come! Engage her! Get ready! Ammo for you. Right. Hey, how's that armor? Let's go! You're on target!
I can keep going.
We can win this! Got that one!
Fight without honor. Oh no. It's Battlefront 2 all over again. Craft. Oh, I don't have enough to craft acid bows. Oh, you used it a bit? It's just not good with all the logs. I just had I just only highlighted the audio logs. Oh god. You fucked up way to go.
borrow?
We've survived.
R2 on an enemy with the energetic spear creates a glowing blue energy point. Alright.
I'm on target. Let's do this.
Doing all my. Okay, so the Valor is just giving me. Valor thing just gives me like beast mode. Holy fuck. Alright. I went from bad to worse.
Time to fight.
Just need a little bit more flavor.
Oh, I don't want to catch on fire.
One down. We got this.
Okay.
There.
Alright, let's craft more arrows.
Enough!
Yeah, what I ended up doing, I was just looking at for the names of things
I'll skin you both!
on the map.
Chief, grant me the honor of this challenge.
Granted.
Fucking Mary Poppins in this shit? I won't lie, that's a dope ass costume.
You're next, girl.
I've never seen a shield like that. Better scan it. through his shield if I damage it enough. Just gotta get through that shield.
Alright, I need health like a motherfucker.
I need this.
That's what I just said, Aloy.
Give it up. Need to break its guard. There, now's my chance. You're not stopping me. Shield regenerated. Shield's gone. He's vulnerable.
Oh no, your cool costume's falling apart.
I've got to break that shield. There, he's exposed.
This is a 5,000 XP murder kill.
Your turn. Come down here and face me.
No! It was an honorable challenge. You've earned your life today. Comrades! Mark this day! Today you have decimated the Marshals! Slaughtered the Karja! So begins our war on Hikaru. Move out!
Get him to the camp. Now.
You gonna make it?
Come on, Varl.
You're going on without me, aren't you? Guess I'm stuck with Aaron. For now.
Come on. I'll take you back to the fort.
I got you.
Well,
It's salvage time, boys.
be dicks about this.
Don't think it can take a hit, but I should be able to use it to glide.
Aloy,
You just got a promotion.
we're still trying to sort out this mess. Seems like the Tanakh have a civil war in their hands.
That sounds about right. The marshals weren't expecting Regala to attack.
And the entire Karja delegation was slain. Nozar, Voidis, Vashav. A massacre. What will you do now?
I have to head west. Hopefully this rite of passage is still good. For what I'm after, I'll cross all of Tanakh territory if I have to.
Then you have a long road ahead of you. This is only the threshold of the Forbidden West.
Said the name of the
Tanakh's
game.
true domain lies over the mountains that border Plainsong, home of the Utaru tribe.
This isn't Tanakh territory?
All that out there? That's no man's land. It was supposed to be neutral ground, though obviously this Regala ignored that. Her rebels approached from the north, with all those machines they were riding. They must have made camp up that way.
The rebels were riding bristlebacks. And there were bristlebacks in the Daunt.
Are you saying the rebels let them into the Daunt? How would that even be possible?
I don't know. But it's worth looking into.
While you're at it, there were a number of Karja and Oseram who went out there before the gates were shut for the embassy. Maybe you could check in on them. See if they're all right.
I can keep an eye out. Is there a tall neck somewhere nearby?
A tall neck? There's that one, over there, near the Utaru border. But why?
It's hard to explain. It'll help me get the lay of the land.
If you say so. Is there anything else I can tell you before you go?
Holy shit, there's a lot.
Vashav called Regala a rival. Someone the Tanakh chief should have killed.
Yeah, I reckon he should have. She's obviously a huge threat. Her attack was coordinated and precise. Until you got in her way, that is.
They knew the lay of the land. And they knew Vashav was going to be handed over at the embassy. If the Tanakh weren't expecting her, she must have spent months gathering an army in secret.
They had to have made camp nearby. Somewhere they could lie low until the perfect moment to strike.
About Vashav.
The man was taken captive by the Tanakh. Survived for years out in the west, only to die just short of the Sundom. It's a cruel end for a good soldier.
There was more he wanted to do. He spoke of advocating for lasting peace between the Karja and Tanakh.
Too late for that now.
What will happen to him?
His body will be carried back to Meridian. As a cousin of the Sun King, he will be accorded official rights and buried with honor. No soldier could ask for more.
It's too bad about Nazar and Voidis.
Is it though?
At least Nozar went down fighting. As for the Sun Priest, well, no one deserves to go out that way. I'll make sure they're given proper funeral rites. It's the least I can do.
Do you think the Karja will take action against Regala? Seems like you'd have common ground with the Tanakh.
An expedition of the Karja army into the west could be taken as the start of another invasion. Sun King Avad won't risk it. That said, we can't allow ourselves to be caught unaware by an attack like that again.
You said the Tanakh lands are far to the west. What can I expect to find between here and there?
Well, as I mentioned, you've got a stretch of wilderness known as No Man's Land, and then New Taru farmlands. Past that are the Tanakh. Their territory is split into 3 clans: Desert, Lowland, and Sky.
Right. I saw their banners at the embassy.
The Desert clan is closest. Ooh, vicious lot. Where everyone else sees an inhospitable wasteland, they see a challenge to dominate. Somewhere beyond the desert is the tribe's capital and the territories of the other 2 clans.
You don't sound certain.
I've only heard the stories. During the Red Raids, the Karja army tried to push into Tanakh territory, but the United Clans rose up against them, forced them all the way back to the Daunt.
So no one except the Tanakh really know what's beyond the desert.
Maybe the scholars do, back in Meridian. All those scrolls have to be filled with something, right?
You mentioned the Utaru tribe. Their lands are between here and the Tanakh further west?
That's right. Plainsong is their home. They're a peaceful bunch, at least compared to the Tanakh. More taken to farming than fighting.
It's hard to imagine a bunch of farmers surviving in the Forbidden West.
Make no mistake, they have a fierceness all their own. When the Karja were pushed back during the Red Raids, their warriors chased ours through the burning fields of Plainsong. The Sun King has made several overtures of peace to them as well, but so far, they've declined.
If they're so peaceful, why decline?
Don't know. I heard they have their own troubles to deal with. Something about a food shortage. You'd think that'd make them open to trade, but no. They just want to be left alone.
This area is no man's land.
That it is. The Tanakh used to attack anyone past Barren Light on sight, but after Avad overthrew the Mad Sun King, he reached out to the other tribes to offer reconciliation. The Tanakh agreed to a neutral border zone as part of the peace talks. Karja and Asuram have been striking out into the area ever since.
But now, it seems like Regala and her rebel army have moved in.
Well, I'd never call no man's land safe, even in the best of times. The ancient ruins of the southwest are a testament to that. Remnants of some forgotten war.
You said there were others who went out when the gates were open before. Like who?
Well, in addition to the salvagers that just went through, there were a couple of other parties of Oseram delvers. Even saw 2 Karja scholars trekking southwest with an Oseram crew. Not sure if they're exceptionally brave or just foolhardy.
I'd need to be on my way.
Then I wish you luck. The gates will always be open to you should you wish to return. And don't worry about your friends. We'll get them patched up.
Thanks, my guy.
I appreciate it.
Sun watch over you, Aloy. I hope you find what you're looking for.
All right. Let's see. We salvage.
I'll pick these up.
Hold forward button while in the air to deploy and glide. Tap circle to stop glide. Okay.
So, this is the Forbidden West. A whole new frontier to explore. The coordinates from the spires should lead to Silence in Hades. And just maybe, a backup of Gaia. It won't be easy out there. The Blight, the Storms, Regala's machine riders. But I'll have to push through it all. Find a way to fix the world. Like Elizabeth would.
Back, little fox. You're
the
cute.
ambush, Regala had a lot of machines under her command. There's only one other person who has that kind of knowledge. Silence. But what's his angle? Why help to knock the rebels? Send this to my stash.
20 trophy points. Rising Breath of the Forbidden Wild West. Chris, you might be onto something here. Can we yes, we can. Alright, so I was told in the guide killing raccoons is good. I'm assuming killing foxes is good too. craftables. Hate doing it, but at least I'm not killing dogs, right? Yeah, the way they did audio logs, some of them are different than others, obviously. A little weird, but you know what? 4-3 made some really interesting choices, and I don't know if they were just trying to be innovative or if they just didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Got in over their heads. Too many concessions had to be made for the open world. Yeah. Well, and I may have been talking about this last night of just how boring the
Squad to test the shield wing.
linear missions are near the end because it's like repeating hallways. No good reason. They had 3 smaller, entirely separate open areas. Yeah. Its problem is a problem that the been with a lot of open world games lately. That's just that the worlds themselves are just kind of pointlessly bland. I mean, they're open, but they're soulless in a way.
Dyer can make use of this.
Right. We've got skill points to put into shit. Okay. The weapon technique can be recognized by its pentagonal shape. Skills in this category unlock a powerful new attack for all weapons in the class. Weapon techniques use up weapon stamina, which regenerates over time. Alright. Fire a special arrow that attaches to an enemy for a limited time. Detonate it with melee attack for deal extra damage. Okay. Alright, let's get that. Three big silent cartographer hailers, yeah.
It worked.
Oh. Tap or hold R1 while aiming to use your selected technique. Alright. Go ahead and do a manual save. It's a lot of progress. Alright, let's try out this lighter. Holy Breath of the Wild now. Water weed. Is that what you put in water bombs? Avoid the mist. Apparently didn't avoid it enough.
Light's taking over the land out here, too.
Imagine first-party PS exclusives ripping off better games.
This must be the salvagers I met in Barren Light. Looks like something's going on.
Karoof, come on! You know me. Have I ever given you anything less than perfection?
What's his deal?
If it isn't the savior of Meridian, and of my very own operation. Larend, say hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
You know, if it weren't for this one...
Looks like Michael
I
Cera.
probably wouldn't be standing here right now. Nasty business. What the Tenakth did back at the embassy. But everyone in Barren Light is thankful you drove them off.
So this is your salvage operation.
You won't find a better place to trade machine parts in the West. And soon we'll be trading in more than just that. For too long, the West has been, well, forbidden. Dangerous. But what if I told you we could make an armor so tough, so infallible, that you'd never have to worry about survival out here again?
I'd be curious to take a look at it.
Of course you would. And that's why I've asked my most talented salvagers to find what they need to make that armor. Each of them will present their work to me. The best protection will go on sale to hunters, just like you.
Lucky me.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some business to attend to back in Chainscrape. Larend can take care of you while I'm gone. Can't wait to see what you come up with, my boy.
Leave it to me. It'll blow all the others out of the forge. You have got to help me.
What are you talking about?
The armor. I made a dozen versions of it, but none of them were good enough. And there are other crews further west. If they make better armor than mine, I can kiss that keg full of shards goodbye.
So you get a prize if Karif picks your armor?
A big one. And I finally have the perfect design. I just need the right parts, and fast. So maybe you'd be willing to pick up a contract and get them for me?
What would I be looking for?
Shell walker containers. Look, their plating's made to withstand a lot of damage. It'll make the perfect armor. I know it.
I think I can handle that.
Ah, thank the forge. All right. We scouted out a herd near here. Here's the contract. It'll tell you everything you need to know. You take the machines down. My people will pick up the containers.
I'll give this a closer look later. Thanks.
I'm counting on you, Aloy.
All right. Ashley Birch was better as Chloe there, I said it. What about Tiny Tina?
Stuff for the stash.
Chloe's better than Tina, who's better than Aloy. Chris, you're getting a little salty here, my guy. Alright,
might
so
wanna
let's
read
go
that
ahead and take a
contract
look. We can fast travel for free to any campfire we've found before. Already a good chunk of the map. Well, that's all the rest of it. Oh my god, it's huge. Alright, we've got lots to see here, gamers. That's the tall neck. Basically a Ubisoft tower to open up the map. Or an empty world. Eh, we'll see. We'll see.
Going on the hunt.
Alright, I'm gonna pause here for now.